Today we'll be unboxing the evil Lord of Destruction in his chair of despair. Here on... Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Newman, and today we'll be unboxing Skeletor and the Havocthrone from Mattel's Masterverse line. Created in 1981 by Mark Taylor, Skeletor is the evil Lord of Destruction and the main antagonist of the Masters of the Universe line. This tyrannical despot hails from Snake Mountain. From his throne of death, he commands the dark forces of Eternia. His past shrouded in mystery. Possibly a demon from another dimension, possibly the lost prince of Eternia. Only one thing is certain. He'll stop at nothing to uncover the mysteries of Castle Grayskull. So here we are back in the land of Eternia. Now, this, I think, will be my first Masterverse figure that I've unboxed on this channel. I've done a lot of the cartoon collection, I've done a couple of Origins, and and I did one Mondo one too, but I've not done Masterverse yet. I actually do have some unboxed Masterverse figures, but this will be my first on-camera experience. Please be gentle in the comments, as this will be my first time. I purchased mine from Big Bad Toy Store. It is a lovely company. You see that Beastman? That was part of my pile of loot, which is not part of this review, and will probably not be reviewed. I purchased two from the store, one to rock and one to stock, so I got a Houdini this extra box.
That's really impressive. Whoa.
At some point, I'll actually put that box up for sale on Newman Collectibles. Not right now. Yes, I am the dreaded reseller. This is a cautionary tale, folks. Be good in your life, otherwise you'll be reincarnated as a mid-grade toy reseller. But back to the topic on hand, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this packaging first before we open it up. Here is the front with a Dynamite Skeletor illustration. Moving it to the side, we've got Evil Lyn and Panther, who will be released relatively soon in the Masterverse line, under the New Eternia subsection. Towards the back, we've got some dialogue, which I'm not going to read. And finally, turning it to the last side, we've got Beastman and Merman. That Merman figure from Masterverse New Eternia looks fantastic. I cannot wait for it. And lastly, on the top of the package, we've got a bat and a serpent to reinforce that Havoc and Ka theme that they got going on with this set. So now that we finished looking at this lovely packaging, we are not going to waste any more time. We're going to go ahead and switch up the cameras, change some positions, and take a closer look at this. I'm going to break out my X-Acto knife to get rid of some of this tape so I can have it nice and neat in case I want to save these boxes. Now, inside the main box, we actually have another box. It's styled after all of the other Masterverse figures that are currently coming out right now. And it is fantastic. I had no idea that we were going to get some more packaging inside. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is fantastic. Look at that Alcala Skeletor. Oh, man. This looks really good. I don't want to throw this away. Maybe I'll just put it on the shelf empty. But you know, I guess I still got to do this review, so I do have to open this up. Let's go ahead and get my main man Skeletor out of here. This evil Lord of Destruction. Oh, look at this. We got a little hole. And we got some nice goodies inside. Now here is the figure still in the plastic. So we've got some ties holding this guy down. And oh no, they got the tape on the cape. I hate that. Let's go ahead and get these I don't like that. Because like I'm an inbox collector, so over time, if a figure has a cape, that tape is just going to ruin the cape. But whatever, let's take a look at this Havoc staff. So this looks like the same model that came with the first New Eternia Skeletor, as well as that 40th He-Man and Skeletor Masterverse box set. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this figure, and this figure is pretty fantastic. Now at first, when I saw pictures of it, I thought that the flesh was just going to be one solid color, but there is actually a wash on here, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't extend to the hands though, so the hands are kind of a different color. That's kind of a shame. Same with the feet, but the wash on the body looks pretty good. That face sculpt is absolutely amazing. This is one of the best Skeletor head sculpts in this scale, not including Mondo. This looks fantastic. It is legitimately scary. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. So he does have an ab crunch. Arms go up to about there. There is a double joint at the elbows. Elbows are kind of loose. They're both loose and tight. They wobble a bit when extended, but when you get them closed up with the forearms close to the biceps, it's a tight flex. The wrists go all the way around. There's a decent flex on those, no issues there. He can do kind of the splits, so legs go out to about there. There is a upper bicep, or rather upper thigh cut for both the legs. There's double knee joints, which are both very good. These are better than the double elbow joints. Those are nice. There is a cut at the boot. I wish these were a little bit tighter too. They're not bad, but they're just slightly loosey-goosey. Ankles can pivot, they can extend, they can turn. They're not bad, but again, I wish they were a little bit tighter there as well. So far this figure looks really good, but some of the articulation is a bit wobbly. It is a bit wonky. It's not bad. I don't think it'll hurt the stability, but I wish it was a little bit tighter. So, I don't know. It might just be my figure, so mileage may vary. Now, getting him to stand, let's see if he can stabilize on my ill-balanced table. And yeah, he can stand up, so no real issues there. Again, I just wish those joints were just a little bit tighter, because this is an otherwise excellent-looking figure. So let's take a look at our bag of goodies. Let's go ahead and rip this bad boy open and see what we got here. And we have some extra hands. So we've got a fist for the right hand and a open palm for the left. I don't really like those open palms for the Masterverse figures. That thumb looks entirely too long. It borders on being comically long. They really need an 86 that bold. So let's go ahead and disrobe Skeletor. We're going to take this cape and that extra armor off so I can take a look at the armor underneath. And, oh, look at that. They've got the bones and the jewel inside of it, a different color than the rest of his harness. That's really nice. Now, one thing to note, they actually have a holster for a sword here, which tells me this is probably the same mold from either the 40th anniversary figure or the that new Eternia Skeletor figure. And by the way, I really like the pearlized purple that they're using for all of his armor and his garb. It looks fantastic. And it's also a pearlized gold that they're using too. It's a really nice gold. It's actually gold. It's not yellow, which is fantastic. There is an articulated jaw, which works a lot better than that 40th anniversary Skeletor figure. With that figure, the jaw just kind of hung open if you played with it too much, but this one seems a lot tighter. I think they fixed the engineering on it. Let's see how old Bone Dome looks without his hood and just the head. And whew, this is pretty creepy. This looks good. Oh, that arm bugs me. See, it's tight there, but when it's extended, look, see how it wobbles? That is a shame. A creator on TikTok suggested super glue for loose joints. I haven't tried it, so I can't recommend it. But if you guys have tried it and it works, hey, let me know. So going back to this extra harness, this looks really good. It's very Roman Centurion. It looks like the same model from the new Eternia one, just glammed up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get his hood back on and his head back on so we can have a more of a classic look at Skeletor. This looks, man, this looks so good. This looks really good. This might be my favorite Masterverse Skeletor figure. And not even by a little bit, by a lot. Like, a lot. Just really a fantastic looking figure, especially that head sculpt. The paint on it is really good. Let's get the harness back on and just, yeah, this looks really good. I'm really happy with this. Let's see how well the Havoc staff fits in his hand. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty tight grip because I am struggling. All right, there we go. All right, yeah, looks good. That is one big chunky Havoc staff handle. The great thing about that armor is that it easily comes off. You don't have to take the head off for it to come off. The downside is it falls off a lot. But hey, here you have it. Here's Skeletor holding his Havoc staff and still no balancing issues, so that's good. Because that Havoc staff is actually a little heavier than you would expect. It's not metal like that 40th anniversary one, but it's still got some weight to it. Let's try swapping out some hands. We're going to try that slapping hand, and Lord Almighty, is that thumb just, it doesn't look right. I mean, I guess it adds to the creepiness factor of Skeletor, but wow, is it long? It's just a little too long for my taste. Just look at it. I mean, well, I guess that's why Evelyn has been with him for so long, huh? Let's move it on. Let's try this fisted hand. And I think this fist looks a little too small. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I think like the fist might be proportional to what a regular person's fist would look like, especially a bodybuilder. Oh, sorry, I'm going to distract myself. Hey, look at the fringes on the cape. That's nice. It looks ragged. That's pretty cool. But like I was saying, I think I'm just so used to the exaggerated sized hands of action figures and superheroes. Their hands are always a little bit bigger than what they really should be. So I think seeing a actual real fist is what's tripping me up. But that looks cool. That's like a cool pose. Look at that. Like Skeletor is like pounding his fist. Is like, man, I'm gonna give you the business. I'm gonna mess somebody up. So now, before we move on to the actual throne, I think the main attraction probably of this review, let's do a little comparison. Boom! With New Eternia Skeletor. So let's take a close look at these two. Now, you know, this New Eternia Skeletor is still a really good figure. The paint is a little basic as compared to this this new figure, and what's odd is that it all looks like it's the same armor, but the armor on the havocthrone Skeletor sits a little bit higher so that you can't see the jewel in between the crossbones. So you can see the jewel on the New Eternia Skeletor. Oh, by the way, look at these head sculpts. Just wow. Again, they're both really good, but that head sculpt on the left just outclasses it without question. It just looks so creepy and good. It looks like something out of your nightmares. I'm still curious as to why there's that armor difference. Maybe the under armor for the Havocthrone Skeletor is from the 40th, and this New Eternia one is different. I don't know. Who knows? But as you can see, the Havoc staffs are exactly the same. This new one is just the upgraded model with the pearlized plastic as opposed to just the flat purple for the New Eternia figure. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set Skeletor aside because we're going to go to the main event. Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Havocthrone. Is that the official name for it? Is that new? I always called it the Bone Throne. Now this box is actually really nice. It's not flat cardboard. It's actually raised and textured so that you can feel the rocks in here. Oh, look at that. That's some nice artwork. Look at that. Ooh, this looks nice and creepy. Very Snake Mountain. And look at that Skeletor. Oh, hey, look! Evil Lord of Destruction right on the front. And here we've got the pelt of what looks like a dead rat. Lovely. We've got a nice head for the top of his throne. I know there's probably some backstory to that. We've got a piece of the throne right here. Looks like kind of like wings and a spine. And it looks like the main seat of his throne right here. Looks very Filmation. Cool. And the base, which is really nice. It's got that nice dark purple for Snake Mountain. And it looks like there's going to be some LED elements. Really looking forward to how that's gonna look. And here we've got the Staff of Ka, and it's bent! No! What a bummer. So it looks like these are actually two separate pieces. I'm not gonna try and take the head off, but yeah, it looks like these are two separate pieces of plastic that were probably glued together. I'm sure if I just put this in some hot water, I can probably get this fixed. So it's probably not a big deal. Still, you know, it's always a bummer when you get bent weapons. Alright, and here we've got some goodies. We've got, I believe these are going to hold the two staffs. There we go. Looks cool. They're very pliable, by the way. And here we've got the flame effects for the LED lights. Those look nice. Very nice. Okay, and here's number 2. And the base of it looks like it's painted in a dark gunmetal. Here are some more bones. They look like jaw bones to a dinosaur. Well, you know. And oh, these are very pliable as well. Look at that. And here are the instructions, which I am definitely going to read. Now, in most of my unboxings, I just kind of put the instructions aside, but I'm not trying to break this. Lastly, we've got what looks like a background. So it looks as though the reason that the box is so high quality is because it acts as a base with that background. Fantastic. So hey, so I'm actually going to shut up for just a little bit, and we're going to have ourselves a building montage. Okay, and here we have our skeleton. Here we have our skeleton. Stop with the chanting, please! Okay, thank you. As I was saying, here we have our Skeletor on his throne. Man, this looks phenomenal. The lighting just, it kills it. It makes it look so good. I cannot wait for that new Eternia Panther, Evelyn, and Merman so I can complete this Masterverse evil display. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Oh, I cannot wait. Man, what a win for Mattel. If you don't have this, go get it. This is fantastic. This is a triumph for Masterverse. For you Motu fans who have been sleeping on Masterverse, this is the point where you gotta jump in. Okay, final thoughts. In case you couldn't already tell, I am in love with this set. It is fantastic. It's not without its issues, however. There is still articulation issues with the figure itself, specifically the ankles and the elbows. It's not bad, and the figure doesn't collapse under its own weight, so it is still stable. It's just, I wish it was a little tighter. Also, one of the staffs, the cost staff, came in a little bent, but I was able to put in some hot water and that fixed that issue, so that's not really an issue anymore. The sculpt of Skeletor is your basic Masterverse buck. They didn't really do anything too different or extreme here. It's essentially the same body as the new Eternia Skeletor, for the most part, except for that new head sculpt, which is phenomenal. It really does remind me of the Alcala head sculpt from the Keldor and Kronos 2-pack from Target in Origins. Except, you know, it's like an extremely great modified version of that. Obviously, there's articulation in the jaw, which is really good. It's nice and tight. Also, you can remove the hood, so it's great. It's phenomenal. And those eyes, man, I love those deep-set red eyes in there. It is great. The paint on that head is also very good. The yellow sort of morphs into the green very well. It's not jarring whatsoever. It's a nice transition. In addition, the wash that the figure has also makes it pop a little bit, as well as using the pearlized plastic for all of his purple body armor and pieces. And the gold, too. It's a really nice gold. It's not the really awful yellow that they sometimes use with these figures. It's a quality gold paint. However, that does actually kind of lead me to another issue I did have. The color of the hands and the feet, they don't quite match the body because of the wash. So that's another minor issue. Nothing that is too extreme. I can live with it. Now, as for the havocthrone itself, it's fantastic. It's really nice. Now, the paint is a little basic in some areas. You can tell that they just went with one color plastic for the purple base. The bones do have a bit of a wash to them, so it's not just a straight bone color. There is some darker elements to it. And the metal portions of the flame effect, they're really nice looking. They are a nice gun metal. Now, as for the flames themselves, it really completes the look. It's phenomenal. It, like the lighting that you can get with it, combined with any personal lighting that you may have, really completes the look. Any imperfections that may come up with paint here or there, or even with the flat purple base, it completely disappears once you add that lighting element. Now, this figure is still available. It hasn't sold out. Masterverse rarely sells out because, again, I think a lot of people are sleeping on this line. But it is a phenomenal figure. If you have been thinking about, like, maybe dipping your toe into the Masterverse pool, this is the figure to do it with. Go ahead and get this figure. I know it's a little pricey. It is $70. But I would say that it's worth it. It is an awesome display. You can do a lot of great dioramas and scenes with this thing if you're a toy photographer. It's just lovely. Mattel, you really knocked this one out of the park. Minus the sometimes questionable articulation in a few areas. But it's really good. Mattel, you guys get a gold star. Sorry folks, that's pretty much going to wrap everything up. Are you guys going to get this fantastic set? You really should. I am Rip It Open at Newman on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X, Twitter. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, hit the bell for notifications, and I will check you later.